everyone. My name is Bhaskar Ivaturi, and in this video, I'm going to talk about how to secure EBS External Application Node in OCI. Having EBS application with external node in OCI can be a potential target for various cyber threats. Let's have a look at some of the best practices to get protected from these threats. Place your database and application in different subnets, allowing only the required ports using security list or network security group. Ensure that you protect your external load balancer with WAF, which will filter and monitor the traffic between application and the internet. Secure socket layer creates an encrypted link between the client and the server, protecting against man-in-the-middle attacks. Apply the latest security patches and updates for your application and the operating systems. Enable logging for Oracle services like VCN, load balancer, and WAF, and monitor these logs regularly for any unauthorized access. Ensure that you have proper backups of your database and application file system. And use SSH key pairs for secure authentication and avoid using default username and passwords. With external EBS node in place, we should consider distinct subnets for a database and application. As you see in this architecture, database is running in a private subnet and application nodes are in different private subnets. The external application node running in a private subnet has a load balancer on top of it, which is running in a public subnet. And this load balancer is protected with a web application firewall. So all the traffic coming from the public internet will be redirected by the WAF based on the protection rules and access controls, and then reach the public load balancer, which will redirect the request to the external EBS application node, which is in a private subnet. Having WAF in front of the load balancer is very important to safeguard against potential attacks like cross-site scripting and SQL injection. Web application firewall plays a crucial role in protecting your load balancer. When you have an external application node, you have to implement a reliable WAF solution to safeguard against potential web application attacks. So let's go to the console, create a WAF policy, add the recommended protection rules, and attach it to an external load balancer. From the navigation menu, we will go to Identity and Security, and then click on Web Application Firewall. Select the required compartment where you want to create the WAF policy, and click on the Create button. Provide the name for your policy and click Next. You can also add the access control rules, but for now I'm just adding the protection rules. So let me click on Next and Next again. Now click on Enable to configure protection rules and add request protection rules. Provide some name for your rule and then click on the Choose Protection Capabilities. Use the filter by tags with recommended and then select all the rules to add. This will now add with 16 protection rules. Click Next to add the firewall. Select the external EBS load balancer from the dropdown to which you want to add this WAF policy, and then click on Next to create the WAF policy. So before you enable these rules, you must test these protection rules on a non-prod instance. Once validated, proceed to apply these rules to your production system. It is important to note that these default rules may potentially block certain business critical pages. In such instances, carefully identify the specific rule which is causing the issue and consider disabling that particular rule within the protection policy. Apply security patches regularly for the application, database, and operating system on which the EBS application and database are running. With the help of OS Management Service, we can identify the list of latest security patches that need to be applied to the operating system. From the navigation menu, go to the Compute and click on Instances. Select the compartment where we have the EBS compute instance running and select the EBS external compute instance. Before we start using the OS Management Service, create the required dynamic group IAM policies and make sure that OS Management plugin is enabled. Click on Oracle Cloud Agent and ensure that OS Management Service Agent is enabled and the status is showing as running. Now from the resource section of the compute instance, Click on OS Management, which will show you the list of available updates that can be applied to the operating system. As per the available updates, we can see that there are 20 security updates, 69 bugs, 1 enhancement, and 8 others. From the action menu, you can view the complete details and install all the updates or install the security updates alone. With this service, we can automate the manual process, save time, and increase security and reliability. Once we have completed provisioning of all the services, we must not forget to enable the logs. Always keep an eye on the logs and check if there is any unauthorized access reported in the logs. Let's see how the load balancer, WAF, and VCN flow logs can be enabled. From the navigation menu, go to Networking and click on Load Balancers. Select the load balancer from the appropriate compartment. Scroll down to the resource section and click on Logs. Enable both access logs and error logs. Now from the load balancer information section, click on Web Application Firewall and then click on Logs to enable all the logs. To enable VCN flow logs, from the navigation menu, go to Networking and click on Capture Filters under the Network Command Center. Click on Create Capture Filter and provide some name as EBS VCN Cap. Select the appropriate compartment where you want to create the capture filter and select the filter type as flow log capture filter and provide some sampling rate, let's say 50%. And I'll go with all the default rules to capture all the traffic and all the protocols and click on Create. Now from the main menu, we'll go to the Observability and Management and select Logs under Logging section. Click on Enable Service Log and from Service section, select the Virtual Cloud Network Flow Logs. From the drop-down of resource level, select the VCN and select the VCN for which you want to enable the logs under the resource section. Now in the Configure Log section, select the flow logs for the log category and in the Capture Filter section, select the EBS VCN capture filter which we have created in previous step and provide some log name. Let's say it's EBS VCN logs and then click on Enable Log. So these logs include critical diagnostic information that describes how the resources are performing and being accessed. Having regular backups is most important for both application and database. For applications running with block volume, you can enable the backup policy for both boot and block volumes. And if you are using FSS, you can use the snapshot backups. For database running on base database service or Exadata, make sure the automatic backups are enabled and the backups are getting completed without any errors. For databases running on compute VMs, you can use Oracle Database Cloud Backup module to take the DB backups to object storage. Security is a continuous process which should be given the highest priority, and these are some of the best practices that can be considered when you have an external EBS node in OCI. So that's about how you can secure EBS External Application Node in OCI. Thank you.